All right, we're live. Welcome to Gentlemen List episode 5. I'm going to kick it over to AP at this point, as I usually do. I like to throw him under the bus.
Normally, you throw me under the bus by not saying anything, and then I'm the one who has to host. Telling me you're doing it isn't throwing me under the bus.
Isn't it?
Look, no, it's not. Oh. I was watching the PNG that you have that shows where all of my Battletech shows are, like in the inner sphere, and I'm fascinated by the map. Because the map doesn't include the Rim collection, but it does include the Illyrian Palatate, which makes me wonder who the fuck made this map.
We'll have to dig into it. To be fair, I did run it by you. Wild. I said, "Good." Or is this?
Yeah, no. Look, it's just I'm sitting here considering the map, and I'm like, Rim collection, like extremely important piece of lore, comes up constantly, very important. Illyrian Palatate. I literally only know the name of it. That's how unimportant it is.
So someone ran a campaign there, probably.
Just a brief thing. I have a note on the audio quality from Rebecca saying that Bob was quite quiet.
Bob, you're quiet.
Of course I am. Why would it be any better? Okay.
Bob pretty quiet and music pretty loud.
Yeah, we'll figure that out as we go. At least, you know what? Yeah. At least this time, I have audio. That's something. You can hear me.
Indeed.
Barely.
I should sit over here so that you got me in frame of the camera. I can't hang out in the corner over here, or can I? No, let's not do that. Hey, friends at home, welcome to Battletech Gentlemen List, episode 5. It has been like 3, maybe 4 months since we last had an episode. Now, I know all of the players are 100%. We know exactly what has happened in every episode before this. We also are 100% cognizant of both rule systems.
Yes.
Stars Without Numbers 1.0 and the Alpha Strike system.
Right.
We're ready to go at any moment's notice, but let me be clear. We are going to pretend we don't remember where we were or what we were doing for your sake.
Yep.
We have scripted several moments tonight. We've fully written them out 100%. If it seems awkward, it's just because Bob and I wanted to make it sound authentic.
Yeah, I have some stage directions. They just say pause awkwardly.
Just a stage left.
Through an empty
they all say stage left.
Yeah.
Awesome.
See, let me show you how you exit stage left. I'm getting way too much use out of falling off the side of my camera.
You want me to move you? I can give you a shuffle. If you
no.
Okay.
Dude, listen, don't let my memory's been out of control lately. It's absolutely ridiculous. I have to cut back on it.
It's all good.
Just a couple more notes here before we get started is that I may potentially, by the next time we have an episode, I may have a new show to add to Bob's mini map of shows, of Battletech shows.
Nice.
It's possible. Number 2, I'm sitting here on this Twitch channel seeing that Bob is at 243 out of 250 in terms of people who followed him. And I know that there's like 100 people on YouTube that watch this. So all I'm saying, YouTube people, is that you could get Bob over the top of that hill 250, if you wanted to. If we all lifted together and followed Bob right now. And I'm saying this to you, YouTube audience member who isn't watching on Twitch Live. That's right, you. I'm talking directly to you from your third monitor.
That's right, Greg.
Well, hold on. Don't directly call out Greg, all right? Let me intercede on Greg's behalf.
What did Greg ever do to you?
Yeah.
He knows what he did.
All right. So in the first scripted awkward interaction, I'm going to ask everyone to reintroduce themselves and their characters, because everyone, of course, remembers who they are and who their character is. Bob, let's start with you. If you can remember who you are.
Oh, yes, of course. I am playing Pascal LaRue, the completely honest and truthful, upright people's person, and the current leader of our, what is it? I don't even know what I'm the leader of.
Your military unit, yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Your detachment.
Yeah. There we go. Just had to add that for the script. And currently, I think we'll find out if that's changed, but I am currently number 1 on the list, just above Dr. Jack Manley. Thanks mostly to our late character. So
yeah, we'll see where you are on the list as the episode goes on.
Indeed. Yeah.
I do love your beef with Dr. Manley, though.
Yeah, it's gonna come full force. The other,
Bob,
I guess
check the script here. I also asked who you are personally.
Oh yeah,
you, the person.
I guess,
so the audience knows.
Right.
Because this might be their first time watching the show. The fifth episode.
The 5th episode. Exactly. I'm sure that happens, just based on how things work.
You know what, Bob? Yeah. You know what? Let me just do a quick aside here and say I did that once during an Air Fulgara show on like the 30th fucking episode. I was like, oh, I'm going to be a shitlord. I'm going to say that during the intro sequence and be like, no, we don't need to reintroduce ourselves. And someone in the audience who was a first-time chatter said, this is actually my first time here. And I was like, that's it! I'm done! I'm leaving! You can't do that, Bob. Someone could be watching the 5th episode for the first time. You can't control the audience.
Yep. That's fair. My name's Taking Time Bob, or Bob, as most people refer to me here. I run a series of Pendragon games online with some of these fine folks and some folks who guest for us, like EP up here. That's me. You can find me on Taking Time Bob Gaming on Twitch or Taking Time Bob on YouTube. And come check us out.
Look, now I know that the name of the person in chat right now is obviously someone who's involved in your channel, but this is their first time watching this show, Bob. And what if they had forgotten who you were since the last time they saw you?
You're right. I'm sorry, Greg. Thanks. Yeah.
What is with this Greg slander today? Thomas!
Hello.
All right, let's check the script here. What does it say about who you are and who your character is?
Oh, to be a god, the panoply of man.
Okay.
Oh, no, it says...
Well, hold on. Is this that thing I've heard about, the pansexual theater nerd who's got the two-faced mask as a tattoo?
Hey, I've got a subscription to drop out, but that's about as far as it goes. I don't have any tattoos. But yes, I am Thomas. Hello. I play in Bob's Pendragon game, which I've had the pleasure of playing in for a little bit alongside these lovely people. And I am currently playing Louis Gabrielson. He is a commoner who bought his commission into the ranks of nobility in the hopes that he wouldn't have to fight in a goddamn war, but would get the mech. Unfortunately, the reservists have to fight when a war breaks out. He is piloting the Raven mech, an advanced electronic countermeasures module on board, and he has bones made out of glass and a limbic system made out of Play-Doh. And he may or may not be responsible for the death of a dangerous covert operative that was acting against us within the area, and may or may not have been responsible for the death of a fellow player character. But I'm sure it's fine.
Let's be super clear. We have fully established in canon medically that you are not responsible for your comrade's death. But
yes,
the meme should be kept alive.
Medically.
Yes, the out of canon meme should be kept alive, but
I am a dangerous man with the arm strength of a limp noodle and the intellect of a college graduate. Anyway, enough about me, Thomas.
I don't understand. You described a college graduate.
But yes, that's me.
We're all looking at you, Mark.
Is it my turn to go?
It is.
Is it my part of the script?
You're following the script perfectly right now.
All right, perfectly. Hello, I'm Mark, aka the Cat's Meow, and today I'll be playing the two-faced nobleman, Rahul Chastain, the self-proposed master criminal, uh, truly a paragon of renegades, and he's just kind of well, he's a high noble, whatever the term is. So he's of the elite, and but not elite enough to not have to go fight a war. So here we are.
Are you telling me that you don't believe the people at the top of the social order have a responsibility to lift all others up?
Rahul doesn't.
Noblesse oblige. What's it oblige?
Well, it depends how French you are.
This wasn't part of the script, so it doesn't have a pronunciation guide.
I love the idea that I would write a script with a pronunciation guide. That is the best part. This episode will probably only be an hour to, if you're very unfortunate, hour and a half. It's going to be a between episode because obviously we're kicking back into things. And to be very fair, the end of it, one way or another, we will probably be in a mech battle, which will require a whole episode of setup and shooting. So, just to bring us back into things, the three of you are gathered in a darkened room that is lit only by like the submarine red lights that let you know that you're on a military base in alert. You are gathered around a holographic projection table where you can see that your commanding officer back upriver is sitting there looking sternly at all of you because you have, let's be very clear, fucked up quite badly. Major Lupina is flickering in and out of existence by dint of the fact that satellite coverage on this planet is pretty sparse to begin with, and your satellites are constantly being shot down by the planetary defenders. But there's also the problem that you're in the middle of a huge superstorm that you warned the locals about and they promptly chose to ignore, and now the river is starting to rise. And over the sounds of Major Lupina flipping through paperwork, you can hear the sounds of the boom of thunder and the not so gentle wash of rain over the mech bay. And it must be truly loud to be heard in a command center in the center of an armored bunker. For sure. The Major looks around and says, "So, this is where we find ourselves, gentlemen. One of you has inexplicably tracked a operative on planet to their home base with aid from another member of your unit. You found that she was performing covert operations, some sort of gun drop. Your partner was captured in the ensuing bloodbath. You shot him to get to your target, who you would then eventually chase down and butcher. And then, as reinforcements responded to your position, they uncovered the gun cache, which had been moved into the back of their truck."
That is correct, ma'am. Everything's in my report, including the fact that I shot through him at his request, which was
Right.
fervent.
Understood. And there's no information any of you can come forward with as to how our Magistracy small arms fell into enemy hands.
No, ma'am.
Pascal's looking around at everyone else first, and then he nods.
Mr. LaRue.
Yes?
What do you have to say for your unit?
Well, I think we need time to look into this and get to the bottom of it. Whatever happened here is unacceptable, and it won't happen again.
Mr. LaRue, can you tell me what exactly you have done during your tenure running my unit?
Remind me, AP has it been 6 days he's been?
Yeah, it's not been very long.
Yeah. I'll say, so far I've managed to sign the paperwork that says I'm in the role. And I've started to perform an internal audit.
An internal audit. What is the nature of this audit?
We've reason to believe, this information confirms it, that not everyone who has access to our logistics is above board.
You're telling me that you believe that these weapons came from your own supply chain, that this was a cache of weapons meant for your unit that was stolen and about to be resold.
I didn't say from my unit, but it's possible.
Have you initiated any training operations with any of the other pilots? Have you accomplished anything of value during your time running my unit?
Not in the 6 days, no.
You keep saying 6 days as if that should be significant. I expect my officers to hit the ground running.
Understood. Well, one has hit the ground, if that's any condolences for you. And with all due respect, we'd like the time to grieve.
Mr. LaRue, do you think that this is some sort of movie or novel or tabletop RPG actual play where you can show up in the middle of a serious military conversation and drop quips?
No, I do not.
Okay. Our allies in the Free Worlds League are very interested in the events happening down there, and frankly, I think that they have reason to be. As soon as this storm clears up, I'm going to be sending one of them to audit your unit. Lieutenant Senior Grade Lawrence will be transferring from the Northern Front in order to investigate your unit, and you will provide her with all honors, and you will functionally be under her command while she's down there. If you want to remain at the top of the list, and as the person running that little outpost, then I think you'd better cross all of your T's, dot all your I's, and impress Lieutenant Lawrence to the best of your capability, which is hopefully better than you've impressed me in this meeting.
Understood.
With permission, Mom?
Yes.
I don't know if there's anyone on base yet who has the necessary capabilities, and I'm unsure if the mechanics or doctors sent along have it. But if I can recover any electronic communication from the Night Fox, do you want me to send it within this group or send it back to command?
If you can recover electronic communication from the Night Fox or any Capellan or Maskarovkin, their intelligence service operatives, I want you to send it back with the lieutenant.
Understood.
Do not put anything out over the radio. I want it in writing, sent by messenger.
Understood. Air gap protocols.
Mr. Rahul,
Yes, Mom?
what is your assessment of this situation? Specifically in regards to Mr. LaRue's leadership.
I think he is doing well with what is, quite frankly, a difficult situation. As is my role and my obligation, I will do all I can to assist him as the leader of our group.
She stops flipping through her paperwork long enough to turn and face the camera and says, "Well, if your subordinate and your predecessor is willing to speak so well of you, Mr. LaRue, it seems that I can't replace you quite yet. The connection will not remain stable between our bases for but a few more minutes. A second storm is coming up. Things are going to get pretty humid. Communications is expected to be fully interdicted very shortly. By the time I hear from you again, Mr. LaRue, I would like to know that you're ready to accept Lieutenant Lawrence as soon as possible. And I need an action plan for what you're doing with Mr. Shiratori's Battlemech. His family will undoubtedly win it back, but I understand you have a replacement pilot. If you think you have the political swing and the logistical chops to get it back home, you should do that. And if you think that you're willing to upset the Shiratoris, and you can get away with that, then I expect that you should bring the mech back online."
Roger that.
You can see that there's a break in the connection here as things get sort of staticky, and then it fully cuts out as the power in the transmitter drops, and you hear the peal of like a lightning strike and like thunder booming as not only is satellite coverage being affected, but like the base itself is being pelted with lightning bolts right now. It's at this point that someone opens a door in the room and everyone's like, okay, so the room is like red lit, right? And then someone opens a door from the outside and like pure white light comes in and you're all like, ah, my eye! And someone's like, excuse me, sirs, we have a message from the local magistrate across the bridge.
Oh joy. Louis looks to wait, what's your name? I'm so sorry. This is also a scripted. Looks to Pascal.
This is a scripted event. It's a canon event, actually.
Pascal seems
but
like
yes.
lost in his thoughts. He's not even aware of what's taking place here. You have a reason.
I think with that, we'll turn and go. Report.
So he unseals the letter and begins reading it to you. It's from Magistrate Q Shuang Li, who is the magistrate of the town that's on the other side of the river, who's declared herself officially neutral in the battle between the Capellans and your forces. It's basically a warning that her side of the bridge is being shut down, and as part of her agreement, her neutrality agreement, she's letting you know that, like, she will hold her side of the bridge by force against your passing, simply because the bridge, like, if you go onto the bridge while it's under, you know, like water load like this, you could potentially damage or permanently destroy a critical piece of infrastructure. So it's, you know, it's like half of a threat and like also half of like information. And it also includes the, there is a village on your side of the river downstream that has been broadcasting a request for aid. They have tried sandbagging, they've tried damming, but their rice fields and streets are now starting to flood. And as the water levels rise, it may fully encompass the entire town.
She told us that?
She sent a letter saying that that was true. However,
Gotcha.
none of you have received such a broadcast.
And I'm the communications officer.
Yeah, but you were also in this room.
Yes. Louis nods and says, "Thank you."
Okay. He leaves as quickly as possible. He also
Nice.
closes the door, so your eyes adjust back to the low red light.
Yeah.
Now it's just the three of us in the room. Is that correct?
Yes,
And the connection's off. With
correct.
I'm gonna triple check that the connection's
Yeah.
off.
You triple check the connections off. It is, and now that you're checking, you also notice that there actually is messages incoming from the village downriver. That said, it is just very strange to you because the timing of their sending a message is only in the last few minutes. This woman
Received it and sent a letter.
Sent a letter across the bridge, which was run into a military base, and made it here first. Like, something is very strange.
I believe the honored magistrate might be trying to ambush us or have us in a place for some reason. That's odd.
So really, we're out here alone then.
Yes,
As it is now.
all outgoing
Indeed.
and incoming communication is cut.
Well, how likely is it that they considered your act an act of war, going after the Night Fox as it is?
Considering we're already at war, the Night Fox
There is a
is a
difference.
clandestine agent.
Yeah, Louis, please tell me you're smarter than that. There's wars, and then there's this. You took a direct strike at the Night Fox, did you not?
Yes.
And
It is
This
highly
is-
likely the Nightbox will have other forces underneath them that may retaliate.
Just a quick timeout, totally scripted. Mark, you're coming in pretty muffled.
I don't know what's going on with that. I mean, I do, because this is part of the script, but
Yeah.
Indeed.
trying to turn noise suppression off. I don't know if that'll fix it or not.
Oh, that did do something.
Is it better? Is it a better something?
Yeah.
Not confident, but I'll take it.
But Louis will say, this is the same Night Fox that killed and ransacked this base prior to our coming. They were already acting. If you want to discipline me for discovering them, that is one
Is
thing.
that what we call discovering them, Louis? Is that what we call it? He's gonna actually like flip. He's got like a clipboard in front of him because he's been doing like the audit. He like flips it up, and makes a big scene out of it. He says, "The three of us better get our shit in order right away, or none of us are gonna be in a good place." That
Sir,
means working
I
together.
sent specifically to you, to the both of you, separately, when you were in charge, for permission to do this act. I was going to do it alone, and I probably would have died if it were not for Alexander. But you were fully aware of everything that was there.
We knew
I
you were
have been
going
working
in. We
with
didn't
you.
know you were gonna try and take out anyone.
Indeed.
I didn't know I was gonna
you
take
turn
out
an
anyone either.
investigation into a slaughter.
I didn't know I was going to either. Alexander came in with a knife already drawn and person's throat open.
Well, Alexander is dead now, so what do we do with that information?
He actually, I think he has, I can't remember where it was, but my last scene, I think, with Raul from the last one, I'm just doing this for the script, but I believe we had just received news of Alexander's mental state, as it were, with the
That
piloting.
he
Yes.
had an erratic
Brain pattern.
brain pattern for his
Yeah.
connection to his Battlemech. And so much so that he actually had two different patterns.
Yeah. So he's gonna actually like flip that open and slide it Louis' way and say, "I just want to clarify. You're stating that things wouldn't have necessarily come to arms if it weren't for Alexander's actions."
Yes, I had no intention of, and he flips through it he flips through it too, and like makes a face.
Because we might
knew
have an
he-
out there.
Yes. Is this genuine or is this a political maneuver? Either way, I'm not going to say anything about it.
I had no this was brought to me. It's possible it's someone else maneuvering, but that would be falsifying medical scans.
I'll say this. It was a combat situation, and he saved my life during it. It was only a combat situation because he began with a knife. There's no telling what the situation would have turned out like had he not been there, but I had no intention of any sort of combat beginning.
He also told you to shoot him, correct?
He did.
Not exactly the picture of mental stability. Perhaps there is a
If
good
one
option
can go
here.
if one can go for a non-lethal shot, never mind. Still, there is a benefit to what has happened here and now, and that is that with the monsoon, any outgoing and incoming communication is going to be garbled at best, and at worst, outright lost. That means that any status reports expected from the Night Fox aren't going to be coming in, so we have some time to figure out what needs to be done. What are our orders on a greater strategic level?
Matt Rahul turns to Pascal.
Well, we're about to be audited. That part I can deal with. But I need the time to deal with it. More importantly, we have to be alive for that to happen.
Fair point.
We need to figure out what's going on with our communications. If comms are blown, that doesn't. Do you know if is this natural?
The monsoon? I hope so. I expect so.
Right, monsoon. Right. Well, it's an opportunity for if they wanted to strike us. Now would be a great time.
That's why I'm curious about the village requesting assistance. As you will note, we received a letter just now saying that the magistrate from across the river received distress calls. I looked just now, and the first calls came in mere minutes ago. 6 now.
Right.
Either they have been directed to talk to us now, or there is a reason she wants us there.
Also not exactly driving weather at the moment.
No.
So, is this the kind of thing, he looks to the two of you, distress calls, that would be military response? Are we getting in our mechs then?
So mechs that have hands can do things like sandbags and pick up giant rocks and provide that kind of assistance. And you know, one way to really help back them up would be to have some sort of specialist communications mech that's capable of cutting through the weather interference. And if there is some kind of weird ambush, the Raven is one of the only mechs in the entire universe capable of detecting it before it happens, which
That's
has
why Louis
already
wanted
happened
that
on
mech
this show.
specifically.
Yeah,
Yes.
that's true. Yeah, I needed the reminder. So, well, we should go then. I think it's possible they'll take advantage of us being there, but we have to respond.
Fair enough. If we can
Also-
assist, we might as well.
It would also go far between creating a good start to a relationship with the people of this land.
I've been trying, but they didn't believe me when I said the monsoon was coming. What should we do in regards to the weapons?
If you would like, Pascal, I would personally take it upon myself to begin the investigation as to why these weapons went missing.
Okay.
I assure you I will be able to find the answer, and perhaps even a culprit.
Now, remind me out of character. Raul Pascal did have this conversation
Pascal.
previously.
Pascal
Yeah.
knows.
Yeah.
Pascal knows
Pascal
it was
fully
Raoul.
knows.
Yeah. He'll nod. He'll say, "Raul, you understand the importance of what's at stake with this internal audit." Yes.
Of course.
He nods. I'll handle the numbers. You launch the investigation.
That's your word, Commander.
But for now, I think we'd better get ready.
Indeed.
Uh,
I'll suit up.
Oh, we have you running down an anime hallway. The three of you. We can't see your lower bodies. It's just your arms swinging. As
I
we
can't
hear.
run.
The pole,
Oh right.
hobbling around.
do we all have
Louis
different colors?
hobbles,
The-
like cane in one hand, kind of.
Do our colors match our mech colors? Is it like our uniforms?
Yeah,
They
of
look
course,
to
of
our
course.
mechs?
Yeah.
Awesome.
And your house colors, yeah. And then, the narrator is like, Mech 01 ready to launch. As the three of you come thundering out of the mech. So let me be really clear, like the three of you come out of your mech gantries and form like a rough line, and they're ready to send you out of the mech bay. And then like as the mech bay comes up, it's like a pure sheet of rain in front of you through which you can't see more than 5 feet, and you fully have to navigate via your Battlemechs sensors. Fortunately, you have pretty good like local geography plugged in, but except for the Raven, the rest of you are not getting satellite imagery from what's going on above you. So,
Louis does communicate up-to-date information to the other ones. Because he
yes,
can.
Pascal's like, we should take a left here, and you're like, I'm not seeing that on my map, sir. And he's like, no, the map says take a left here.
Oh, you're just turning me into what's his name from Band of Brothers?
Yeah.
Thank you for choosing Comstar. We're aware you had no other choice, but sorry about that. I misspoke. I'm receiving all of the telemetry and I'm sending it to your mechs. Everything should be in order. Should we have brought along... What was his grade? Should we have brought along Lance Corporal Zimmer?
Yeah, we
So
probably
if you're bringing
should.
him along, that basically means you're making an executive call right now to give Alexander's Battlemech away.
Yeah.
Which will really piss off his family, probably. But also having a fourth mech helping you out would be a pretty big deal.
Pretty useful.
Especially because I think it's got arms, though I'm not certain about that.
Yeah, you know what, Louis.
Let's take a look at your mech list here. So the Blackjack
Alright,
does
that's
not
good.
have arms, but it does have lasers,
Gotcha.
which you can shoot lasers at water to help evaporate them. I know that's a crazy idea. The Archer does have arms, so Rahul is good. And 100% the Raven does not have arms.
I ain't got arms, Lieutenant
All right,
Dan.
then yes, we're absolutely bringing our fourth.
The Hunchback has big, huge fists, too.
Yeah.
It doesn't just have arms, it literally has, like, combat fists.
Better to ask for forgiveness later, because that always works. So.
All right, so he catches up with you from behind, and you get him over the radio. He's like, "Sirs, thanks so much for putting your faith in me. I won't let you down." And like as he's saying that, he's absolutely having so much trouble moving the Hunchback through the mud. Like he's never piloted this mech before. They had to like hot load his brain scan into it, and it normally takes a full week of getting used to it. So he's basically like suffering continuous headaches, and like his sense of balance is thrown off the whole time while going through one of the worst rainstorms he's ever experienced all at once. But he's like, "Yeah, don't worry, I can." He's just throwing up in his cockpit. He's constantly nauseous.
Stay with us, Ernst.
Don't worry, it's about me, sir. I'm good to go. Okay.
Yeah, we're gonna have to do something about that later.
So you have the Raven. The Raven becomes aware as you're approaching this small, like, fishing village that there is a Battlemech nearby that is operating at full power. It is very large. It falls in the assault category. And it is incredibly hot. Which is a little weird to say, but
yeah,
the Battlemech is
in a
running
monsoon.
at, like... It's not just running at full power, but also the Battlemech has heated up as if it's currently fighting or running all of its weapons at full power.
Hold a moment. I'm getting the IFF tag of a Battlemech assault class. It's not in a good way. I don't know if that bodes bad or...
Salt mech. Do we...
there's another mech pilot around here. And it's, in a monsoon, overheating.
Is there... Who's operating an assault mech out here? Has there been any signs of that? That's a big boy to be at this.
Can I send a ping? Can I try and establish communications?
Yes, you can.
Let's hail them.
You open up a channel.
Welcome to... We're here from the... hailing from the... what are we? Are we the Capellan Confederacy or are we the Magistracy?
You're the Magistracy of Canopus.
This is Communications Officer Gabrielson of the Lance, of the Mech Lance from the Magistracy of Canopus. What's your status?
This is Lieutenant Shan Lu of Warrior House Kamada. I am requesting assistance responding to a humanitarian event at this grid location. Identify yourself, pilot.
Identification confirmed. Louis Gabrielson.
I'm going to
given my
suspect that you are an enemy pilot operating in this area. Know that if you interfere in my operations, it will be considered an act against the Ares Convention and a war crime.
Understood. Can you give a reason for the overactive heat profile of your mech? Are you in need of assistance?
I think as you're saying that, you like round the corner and you could see that this guy is like, both of his arms are out blazing lasers into the water. He has two huge flamethrowers that he's using solely to like hold back a wave of water and to become a evaporating cloud of steam to keep it from flooding down the main street. And it's only partially successful. But also, it looks like he's turned his heat sinks off. So he's intentionally causing his mech to become hotter so that his legs will be hot enough to boil the water that's getting past him. That has the side effect of making the inside of his mech like
super
no longer
hot.
His cockpit no longer has the ability to regulate heat. So this guy is cooking himself to save this town.
The last words the Kamadan pilot hears are, oh, holy crap. Before the line gets cut and communicating to you guys, he says, he's part of House Kamada, an enemy pilot, but humanitarian rules. It's complicated. I believe we should assist.
Assisting the enemy.
Assisting the village.
Right.
Is a humanitarian mission.
There's got to be more practical ways than trying to evaporate the water with the lasers, but I'll see what I can do. In the meantime, I'll establish communications between everyone and see if I can get words out.
I would assume he is on his own. Perhaps that is a point to strike at, as that he will most certainly need our help if this village is even going to stand for the next couple hours.
Either way, if you want to assist in the same way, laser weaponry seems to be the way to go. I'm going to stand next to buildings and hope they don't fall over.
I'm going to begin sandbagging.
All right.
I
very
do
well.
have lasers, so I can shoot stuff. Hopefully, the water does act as like a heat sink.
For your legs, yes.
Yeah.
But I will note that as long as the water is acting as a heat sink, everyone's in trouble.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
Indeed.
if it's high enough that it can reach your leg heat sinks, it's like 2 or more feet tall, which is very bad to have in an area. Okay, so I am going to ask for a couple of different kind of checks from people.
Alrighty.
Thomas, I would like a check to represent you acting as traffic control. I mean that both literally, insofar as you'll be redirected. Like, you're the only one whose sensor system can work inside of a city during this storm, and so you literally can be like tell cops and firefighters like where bad shit is happening. But also, your fellow mech warriors have the same problem, and they need somebody to redirect them when shit is going wrong.
Yep. I think would computer work here, or would it be slightly better to do?
I would take instructor, leadership, or tactics as well.
I do have tactics, but my computer is better by 1.
Okay. Well, if you want to be a computer nerd, be a computer nerd here. Let's get 2d6, and then you'll be adding your skill level in that, which of course starts, if you put a point into it, it starts at 0. And if you put 2 points in it, it's a 1, and then your int bonus as well.
I don't think that rolled, but I got a 5. I lifted it up and shook it around.
Yeah,
a bit like this.
I would physically throw the dice real quick.
Got you.
You can also use the R button.
Okay,
that is not great. That is 6 plus 1 plus 1, so that is an 8.
8 is good enough. All right, so no one gets lost. No one's Battlemech wanders off. The cops get to where they need to go, and I hate to be like, the absence of bad things happens because you like, nothing positive happens when you do your job.
Yeah,
you prevent bad things from happening.
I prevent chaos. Every now and again, someone just hears something like, "We want you to know you have no choice in your service provider, so thank you for choosing us." I mean, go not.
I love your commitment to the Comstar bit.
Thank you.
Okay, let's see here. Mark, I believe that you have the only mech that has hands.
Yup.
I am going to ask for an athletic strength roll from you to represent moving and articulating your mech's hands to help with... Unless you have some other way you'd like to contribute, this will be physically like building barriers and like lifting people in cars, or even just like removing buildings that are in the way.
Right. I feel like that's needed, as there's currently no one else that can do that job. So,
should be noted that your monk friend from the warrior house, his mech only has one hand. The other hand is a cannon.
Alright, in which case, yeah, I'll take part in that. So, strength athletics.
Of course. My van is a boat, and my boat is a van.
So I have a -1 to this.
Okay, -1, not great.
Believe with a 12, that's plus nothing. Unless 12 is plus 1.
12 is a 0, yes.
Yeah, 12 is 0. So it's a -1 in total.
Great. So you're just going to need a 9 or higher on these dice. No big deal.
Alright.
Apocalypse.
I believe in you.
No big deal.
Spring Break, I believe in you as well.
Let's go!
Nope.
Oh!
No.
Oh!
I'm going to use my
Expert
1 per hour
reroll.
reroll.
Well. The expert reroll.
I remembered the rules because I read the script.
It's because you were the script supervisor.
No,
Well,
even
the
worse.
reroll
7.
actually got worse, so...
Oh, there we go.
Not that much worse, because
Well,
I mean,
failing, when you fail, the degrees of failure hardly matter at this point.
true enough.
it's not that you aren't doing your job. It's just that it's getting away from you. It truly is. The water is cascading faster than you can keep up with it. And even though you're throwing barriers in the way, even though you are truly helping people, it's just too little, too late. Bob,
Yes.
I have no jobs for you.
Awesome.
Because your mech is in the weird area where it's heavier than the Raven, but it's too light to truly do anything useful. It doesn't have hands, and its arms are basically just laser cannons.
Could I convince you either towards a leadership or
absolutely,
leadership
yes,
role? Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Let's do that.
All right, with charisma.
Oh yeah, his best role. So let's see.
And it's so funny because it's the one thing that
activating Voxcaster.
Yeah.
Okay, that's Warhammer. Or calm down.
8 charisma, but I do have a point in leadership. So
Okay.
yeah.
My favorite part is that this is a role that doesn't require your mech. Nope.
I'm gonna use my
Expert reroll.
expert reroll.
All right. That's pretty expert, that reroll.
Nice.
It's much better.
You give me a
so-
short excerpt from your speech that we're going to see as we watch Chinese and Russian ethnic people with little to no clothing and goods in the middle of the night. Like, truly, your arrest of the Night Fox happened several hours ago at midnight. So this is like 3 or 4 o'clock in the morning. People are standing dramatically on top of buildings trying to get helicopters to pick them up. And almost like a Soviet recruiting poster. I don't know if you've seen the classic poster of like Chinese and Russian workers unite and they're both like looking into the distance together. It's like that as like 2 burly fishermen look up and are listening to your patriotic speech about how they should evacuate orderly and like pay attention and obey authority. You tell me what that speech is. Don't let me put words in your mouth.
You know what? He has culture, traveler. You know, maybe he's I don't. Is language you pick a language? Is that how it works?
Yes.
Or, okay. Damn it. Because I was gonna say I think we did establish previously that he does have Chinese as his language.
You wanna
So maybe
give the
that's what
speech
it
in
is.
Chinese,
Maybe
that's
he's offering the orders he's providing are very like by the book. It's like a single file. Please remain orderly. Do not push the person in front of you or behind you. Make sure that your eyes are directly ahead at all times. Do not leave the person behind you behind, that sort of thing. As he's just kind of
put your own
continuing
mask on
those orders.
first.
What's that?
Put your own mask on first.
Yeah, 100%. Yep, exactly. They aren't effective. He's not charismatic, but it's just very, he drones in.
It is
drones
effective
out.
though, and here's why. Because when you're evacuating from a flood in the middle of the night, you're not looking at the military and police vehicles near you and going, I wonder what emblem is on that vehicle. All they hear is a commanding, authoritative voice giving monotone, repetitive orders, telling them exactly what they need to do. And the swell of pride and the immediate necessity of their brains in full panic needing something to do follow exactly what you're telling them to do. They have clear communications from your communications officer, making sure that there's no problems. There's some time being bought from your guy who has hands putting things down. Zimmer is completely useless. There's no role needed. Oh, no. He not only is he a bad pilot, but he has negatives. He truly at one point just lays his mech down and is like, I'll block this street here, sir. I'm gonna lay my mech down and form a dam. It's the most useful thing. And you can see that the water level's rising to cover the cockpit on his mech, and he's like, this is fine.
He's doing
this
snow
is perfectly
angels.
fine.
Lance Corporal, shoot the water if you have to. Dig a ditch. That accidentally comes over like open communication as he says, sorry.
So the thing is that the Hunchback very famously does not have that much laser weaponry. It has a giant cannon on its shoulder from which its name derives from. And shooting giant cannons at water doesn't work very well.
Yeah.
I direct you to the movie Braveheart for more indication of what happens when projectiles travel underwater.
This is that
You
NPC
get
that just wanted to be
fresh with
part
the-
of our squad the whole time, right? Like, isn't
Yeah,
that what he
yeah.
was? He's like just
He
wanted to be
held
part
a
of the
drinking
team.
party that you guys showed up to
Yeah.
and then left almost immediately.
Yeah, okay. Just making sure. Yeah.
So yeah, you tell him to stop being so useless, and he basically stresses himself out alone in his cockpit, lying down, trying to save people's lives so that they don't get overwhelmed by a flood. Overwhelmed like he's been overwhelmed.
You're only overwhelmed by the flood because you're lying down in the middle of its path. Dig a ditch with your giant with your giant leg.
I'll just tell him, you're doing great, buddy. Just keep doing what you're doing. And I'm gonna cut over to personal
sir.
comm with Louis. And it's like, we'll fix this later. Just let him be. Let's not make
This
him
is the
part of
villagers during the
problem.
monsoon
Yeah.
all over again. But yes, good point. Calm discipline.
Around the time the sun rises, the storm begins breaking. You can see that like little bits of mist as the temperature like skyrockets, it soars, because if you recall, Betelgeuse is one of the largest stars, and it is cooking here, absolutely cooking with the humidity level. But the flood waters recede enough that it's under control. The pilot of this enemy Battlemech, which your sensors are now identifying as a Victor 9A, turns toward all of you, and you can see that there's one of the Buddha Lucky Cats is painted on the mech's shoulder, on its right shoulder, and it gestures with its gun arm towards all of you and says, "I am Monk Shen Lu of Warrior House Kamada. I appreciate you invaders responding to this incident, but you are on the wrong territory here. I would request the honor of a duel against your commander." And he turns to point his gun arm towards the Raven, because that's who he knows has been dispatching orders the whole time.
He's an
Hold,
assault
please.
mech. I'll just point that out.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, he says, "Hold, please," and then opens a channel with the other three
Yeah.
and goes, "Neither am I the commander. I'm also not in a combat suited battle mech. I believe the rest of you would have more of a chance. Can we decline?"
I think it is best to... Yes, I think it is best that we put forward that we are simply here for assistance and humanitarian aid, and that we are not combat suitable.
I'm going to reestablish
did
the connection, and
Raise
then
his weapon
you can...
at you. We could consider that an act of violence and respond accordingly.
So Zimmer's like, yeah,
I
we could
prefer
just
not
jump
to.
this guy. We could absolutely blast him right now. And
I
he turns
prefer
his
not
battle mech
to.
so the big cannon on his shoulder is pointed towards that guy. And that mech, the Victor, responds by raising one of his lasers towards Zimmer. And now, like, all sorts of weapon systems on the Victor are starting to aim at each of you.
Okay, I'm
There's a
going
lot
to
of weapons,
reestablish...
just to be clear.
I'm going to reestablish communications. You say what you said just now, and I think we can get out of this just fine. I would also prefer if it's made clear that I'm not the commander.
Who is the commander of your unit?
Yeah. He reestablishes communication.
The blackjack takes one step forward and says, "That is me, Pascal Leroux."
Strange that your backwards military assigns commanders such small mechs compared to the grandeur of the Raven or the Archer.
Perhaps.
You are truly in one of the lightest, smallest, oldest, and most useless mechs on the battlefield. Do your troops mock you behind your back?
Right.
Wow, you guys are losing it over that. I didn't even
Yeah.
think that was that harsh.
I gotta remember just how immediately vengeful it is. I think Louis just Pascal just smiles to himself as he eats that one, and he says, "Do you typically issue duels when you clearly have the larger mech, warrior, whatever your name is?"
You do not
Shenlu
do me
of
the
Warhouse
honor
Corner.
of remembering my name when I have introduced myself to you twice.
Apologies, it's been a long night.
I think at this point, he truly just begins to open fire on all of you.
What? Okay.
Immediately firing back.
Yeah.
Stand down, stand. Oh, for God's sakes.
Here we go.
You fired
I love
first.
the idea that he's like, I am a person in the future who takes being a monk very seriously. Honor is a prime concern for me. You have forgotten my name and you got fresh with me?
I think over the communication, you hear like notes of panic in his voice. I'm handling the next negotiation.
Right, just like the Night Fox, right? I'll say in turn.
That went well. I was doing well. I am
just hear command shut off. Raoul just turns off his comms for a moment and goes, "I cannot wait till I am back in charge."
At this rate, it might not be long.
Yeah. So I think I'm cutting off whatever communications or like targeting systems he's got as best I can, and
Yeah.
I'm trying to get around him to shoot him in the back.
Yeah,
Truly,
I-
this is a next episode sort of deal, sort of thing.
Yeah.
you know?
Okay.
Oh yeah.
yeah.
All right, so next episode we're going to be doing a slightly altered sort of Alpha Strike battle. Normally, both sides enter from opposing edges, but I believe what's going to happen is the victor is going to start in the center of the table and in the middle of
Yeah.
a flooded village, and there will be mechanics for the flooding and the damage all around you. But you truly have him outnumbered 4-1, so
I hope that's enough.
Isn't the blackjack
You never
bigger
know.
than
the Raven, yes it
The
is.
Raven,
But the
okay.
Raven is also like 200 years newer.
Yes, yeah, for sure.
Yeah, highly advanced war machine. The Blackjack is really kind of it's like a garage sale sort of car.
It's okay. I'm probably gonna blackmail Alexander's family into allowing me to hold on to his mech in the future, anyways. So.
You gonna use
Yeah.
Painting Truth 6 and trade it for a Battlemech? That's
that
a pretty
or we
hefty
could
price.
release his medical records and shame him for.
Oh,
Exactly.
wow!
Yeah, release the
Holy
medical records
shit.
and the records of what had happened.
This is the
Louis
awful
has
that is
no idea
Pascal.
what. Yeah, Louis has no idea what's going on. He's just trying to do his job. Oh, you're gonna
I had
handle it
not
like you
even
did the Night
considered
Fox?
that.
I did! I did handle the Night Fox!
Honestly, threatening to release those medical records is pretty much the perfect blackmail material.
Yeah, straight up.
Yeah,
Oh, yeah.
that's really good.
Because, yeah, are they going to admit that, like, the person who got the family into the noble position was batshit insane and unfit for duty? They could get court-martialed for that. No, wait, they're not in the military. They could get arrested for treason for that.
It's treason then.
I
It's treason.
am the Senate.
Love that
Ah.
entire scene.
But I think we did good humanitarian work until we got shot by a warrior monk from space.
Details.
Well, this is technically his home planet, so you're the ones from space.
Yeah. Invaders.
Until the warrior monk shot the hedonists from space.
Yeah, space hedonists.
We're the Martian space babes.
All right.
Oh yeah.
Listen, you can meme, all right, but you gotta calm down with some of these. You're going a little too far on that one. The Martian space
Forgive me.
babes.
We're the strange genetically engineered ones that come from the strange
Are you
space yachts.
Kerenskying me now? Unbelievable. This is a real shout out for MechWarrior 5 Clans DLC coming out in a couple days. Oh my gosh. That trailer is so cringe.
Is it?
It's the Hidden Hope Doctrine. Hate the Hidden Hope Doctrine.
I haven't seen it.
Well, you can Google MechWarrior 5 Clans DLC and you can watch it.
Are we shouting
I'm doing
that
it
out
now.
on accident?
I think we just did shout it out.
Yeah.
Piranha Games is not sponsoring us, though, just to be clear. They did help us write the script, though, because they have such good script writers.
Ooh, that's a Kubrick stare. Anyway, I'm not watching it now.
Bob, are we good for next week?
Yes. I don't think.
Yes?
You mean what we had originally discussed?
Yeah, just to be clear.
Yeah. Yes, indeed.
All right. Audience at home. We're wrapping down on this episode, but I'll be back next week, I guess.
Yeah. We'll see you next week for sure.
What should I do for my outro? I just remembered I didn't actually do my intro. All of my masterful script talk, and I actually didn't do an intro. Well, you know what? Maybe I also shouldn't do an outro. So you guys do whatever outro you want now. Bob, the show's controls in your hands. You can't trust me.
Okay. I'm just gonna do a quick shout out on behalf of AP and mention that this game is in the same universe, kind of I guess fully of Blades of Honor, and why am I forgetting the one I watch all the time? Oh, it's Bend Steel. Yeah, there we go. So if you might be familiar with those shows. If you're not, they're set in different parts of the same Battletech universe, and yeah, go watch them. They're a ton of fun. That is what I'll shout out. Also, if you like AP and what he brings to the table, come visit us at Pendragon next week. They'll be there.
My favorite part about running Pendragon last night is that I shouted out Bob at the beginning of the episode, and then he showed up, and I was like, do I shout him out again now that he's actually here? Or do I just let the first one run?
Yeah, it worked out.
It did.
Yeah. I just memed long enough for it to make it on screen, and then it was like a second shout out. So.
Who goes next? The structure's all gone. Mark.
Yeah, I know.
Sorry.
You guys,
Mark.
you just got it. You got loosey goosey. Just
Am I next?
Go with the flow.
Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't see you there. I was just checking out our handy dandy Discord. By the way, did you know we have a Discord? Come check us out. Lots of fun stuff on there, such as notifications and whenever we go live, as well as new projects we're doing, as well as crossovers we're doing with people like AP and other channels. And also shitposting and memes. Just a lot of shitposting and memes. So yeah, come join. Link should be on the Twitch. I believe it's also in the description or somewhere on the YouTube channel. Yeah, come join us. I have been Mark, aka the Cat's Meow. And I am having a lot of fun with these and glad to finally get back into MechWarrior shit. I'm also currently working on putting together a Vampire Dark Ages campaign, so do keep an eye out for that. There are some familiar faces and some new faces. So yeah, I hope you all are excited. And that is me. On to Thomas.
That's me. As he said, I am Thomas, and it's been a pleasure playing in MechWarrior again after so long. I love being my boy, Louis Gabrielson, who's just trying to do his job and survive the war, and we'll see how good he is at either of those things. It's been an absolute delight, and that's basically me. I don't have anything to shout out except for the fact that I'm in some of these people's games.
I will add that surviving an assault mech will be a feat for us next time, based on what I understand of the game. So we'll get to that next time. Another one of us might die. That's fine.
I believe that the victor is capable of fully stripping the Raven of all its armor in one shot, and then in two shots it can kill it. And
Let's
the
hope he
Blackjack as
doesn't
well.
do that.
Yeah.
How
I'm
many
hoping-
ships does it have?
Yep.
Very
I'm
likely he'll
hoping
try to
that
kill me.
I'm hoping that the flamethrower will not be very useful in water.
We'll find out.
We'll see
find
if
out.
that. We'll see if that. We'll
Well,
see if that
Find out.
holds
Here's the
water.
interesting thing. If you were fighting mech to mech underwater, that would be true. If you mean
No.
are flamethrowers useful when someone's standing in water, you're still being hit by a flamethrower.
Fair
Honestly,
enough.
it
I'm
would
just
be
saying.
funny. Yeah, honestly, it'd be funny if we begin the combat and he dies of heat stroke.
Wow.
He's just gone.
That's hilarious. All right.
Why do you think? Why do you think he's so gung ho?
Yeah, it's Metal Gear Solid 3, the end fight where you just set your PlayStation 1 week in advance, and he dies of old age.
Yeah.
Yeah, so we're going to go ahead and wrap. We're not going to do the whole rating thing tonight, but thanks for watching. We'll be back in roughly a month's time. It's been a long one since the last one. We had people away and on vacations and stuff, so we'll see you for the next one. We're back into our monthly rotation, so we'll see you next time. Take care.
Farewell.